Out front now is Democratic Congressman Adam Smith. He is the top Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee. And I appreciate your time tonight, sir. I mean, I was talking to Congressman Lawler about that comment just a few moments ago. What do you make of Trump's comment to Jon Karl on killing the Ayatollah? I mean, obviously intelligence has said there were plots, right? But I mean, saying that basically it was about me or him and I got him first.
Yeah, well, it's a huge distraction from what we really need to be focused on right now, which is the war in Iran. Now, no question, Ayatollah Khamenei was a horrible, awful human being. I mean, he just killed tens of thousands of his own people mere weeks ago. But where does this go from here? And the problem isn't just Ayatollah Khamenei, it's the Iranian regime. And there doesn't seem to be any clear plan for replacing that regime at the moment. And the president hasn't even been clear on whether or not regime change is the goal. We do not have a clear set of objectives in this war, and we are putting the men and women who are serving our country's lives at risk without a clear objective or a clear plan for achieving that objective. So, I don't know the ins and outs. I know Iran certainly has threatened us before, but whether or not they actually tried to kill the president, I'm not sure. But that's not what's important right now. What's important right now is where does this war go and how does it advance U.S. interests?
Yeah. Well, and you talk about things like the world's largest oil channel, perhaps effectively shut down. You talk about the world's largest airport. It is shut down. You talk about strikes across the Middle East in a way that we have not seen before. We're in an unprecedented moment. And you also have American service members who have died in this war of choice at this point. I mean, Trump told the New York Times that the Defense Department projections show that the number of U.S. troops, Congressman, casualties could be quite a bit higher than that. So if he's saying that, what do you think that means about where this is going?
Well, again, the more important point, I mean, first of all, the casual way he talks about that is disturbing. But the more important point is, what's the goal? What are we trying to accomplish, and what is the reasonable means for achieving it? We have placed American lives at risk. There's no disputing that. Anyone who tries to predict how many Americans are going to be killed in this conflict, it's going to be very difficult to do. But the president needs to clearly explain to the American people what he's trying to accomplish. He's hinted at regime change, but you can't kind of halfway do regime change. And if it's not regime change, then what are we placing those lives at risk for? What have the American service people who already died for? What is he trying to accomplish? To prove to the world that Iran is a terrible regime? Well, we know that. But can our military fix that problem? It's seeming increasingly unlikely that they can, and the cost is enormous, certainly to U.S. service members. But as you mentioned, there have been civilians killed throughout the region. The Middle East is in a full-scale war that they really haven't seen since probably 1967, and President Trump is the one who kicked that off. Major cost. Mr. President, what is the benefit that you think we're going to be able to achieve?
So, Congressman, what can Congress do about it? At this point, in a sense, Pandora's box has been opened, okay? And Congress was not consulted. Is there anything at this point that the legislative branch, which is, supposed to be responsible for matters like this, can do?
Yes, absolutely. And there's something we could do, and that's the other terrible aspect of this, aside from the military miscalculation that seems to have been made in terms of what the U.S. can achieve here, is the fact that the president has taken us into this war in an unprecedented manner. He has not made the case to the American people. He's not made the case to Congress, and he hasn't gotten congressional approval to start what is undeniably a war. There have been previous conflicts where people have said, well, it's short term. They've come up with a whole bunch of different semantic reasons for why it wasn't really a war. This is a war, unquestionably, which should require congressional approval. Congress, at a minimum, should go on record on this. We should vote for the War Powers Resolution coming up, and we should say Congress has to approve this before it goes forward, and every single member of Congress should be on record. If you think this is a good idea, take the vote. I don't. I'd be voting no, but Congress can take that vote, and we can also cut off the appropriations. If Congress wanted to stop this war, if the Republicans leading Congress in the House and the Senate wanted to stop this war, we absolutely could. we've seen Mike Johnson throughout this whole process, going back a year plus now, continually bow to Trump and the executive branch and essentially make the United States Congress invisible, to abdicate our role and our responsibility under the Constitution. I think we should reassert it.
All right, Congressman Smith, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.